Hello and good morning, everyone. My name is Sebastian. I'm the novice prospect, and give me just a second. I'm just noticing something here on my OBS that I'm not entirely happy with, and I would like to change it quickly. Where is it? Just in here. Yeah, we'll move you over to the right side, I think. Let me somewhere there. I think I like that more, so we'll transition that over, and this should be good now. Tamaguchi. Yeah, bit of window layout. There we go. And hello, Ronnie. Brennenberg, a coal mine in Germany. Oh, yeah, somehow that actually rings a bell. I was sitting there looking at the question. Oh, I don't know the answer. Like as a German, I should surely know this, but no. Anyways, we are going back to the CLI toolbox. I call it the Novice Toolbox, and I think I want to do something first before we go too deep into this menu drawing thing. Let's first maybe confirm that all of this is still, working as expected, or maybe did we break it entirely? Um, but I think I want to actually start building the printed strings in what was mentioned yesterday on YouTube in a string builder. So we'll need to obviously understand what that is, how you would build such a thing, and how you would use it. Um, and I imagine if we maybe started with the simple box first, right? Let me go and make you a bit smaller here. Maybe even move you over. Thank you. Give me more code window, right? You want to see the code more than anything. That is not what I wanted. I think I want this, but that's no. See, I don't like you doing that. I want only the console, the editor itself bigger. Can we do that? Not everything. So preferences, settings, I imagine, right? Something to do with the text editor, and here maybe if we just change its font size to be something like, well, we'll try 14, right? Yeah, I think that's actually good enough, so that this is easier readable, and we're not oversizing the UI. Good. So yes, I guess I need to figure out what the heck a string builder is, right? So we'll just C# string builder example. Right? Just give me an example of how such a thing would look like, and so using system text, and then we make a string builder with the string already in it. Is a dynamic object, allows you to expand the number of characters in the string. That's what we want. I don't think I would want a maximum necessarily, although we could. So appends information at the end of the current string builder. We can even go at specific indices and insert and remove. Okay, and this is what I was wanting to see actually here. So when we do the string building, we do still need to take care of positioning. You must convert a string builder object to a string object before you can pass the string represented by the string builder object to a method that has a string parameter, so like our console print line. So what are we doing here? We're making a new string builder. We're setting some flag to true. We have 3 different spellings of the word receive. Which of the following spelling is 0? Append format. So this is basically just inserting flag in here at the end. Append line. Did we? I didn't see reference to that. Um, but apparently you can do append line, which I imagine gives you an... No, what is that? So we're running a full... No, okay. Which of the following spelling is true? That's what I would expect there. And then... So append line is a new line. Okay, that's how I understand that. And then we're running through basically a loop up to the amount of spellings that we have in this string array. And we append the counter and the spellings of that index. So that there's at the 0th index, the first and the second index. And then you just make a new line again, and another new line, and then you console write line the entire thing to string. Okay. I think I can I think I can make that work. Why don't we make a little... How do I refactor this? This is not my question. Because this is all literal console write lines, and that's not what we want. So maybe we'll actually make here a string builder, right? Print text, we'll call it. I don't know. I'm trying to think my way through this. This is all new for me. New string builder with currently actually no content. I just want it to exist, right? And right. So this console write becomes essentially print text append. That character. And then... Oh, I pushed wrong buttons. I apologize. I have my hands today in wraps because my wrists are a little sore, but it's fine. We'll make this work. Print text append line, right? Gives us a new line. So literally exactly this. And we'll just make this a space like thusly, yes, and print text append line. Like so. And then once we've actually created the entire thing outside of this loop, where this is now where we're actually console write line, I guess, because I still want the last line to be... No, actually, well, we'll see how it behaves. We'll see how it behaves. Text, no, print text to string. Call that as a conversion function to actually make that into a string, and that's it. I'm actually thinking I want to simplify these two functions into one. Yeah, I think like actually I'm gonna throw this one away. And then we'll change the order of operations in here. So basically width and heights always come first, right? Then the origins, if we want to provide them, which we can normally set to be 0, 0. Okay. Which means we're actually gonna throw this entire thing away. Just... Oh, you didn't do what I expected there, but that's fine. Mm. And what we're actually going to say is if this is set to 0, 0, then we're not going to do any set cursor positions. Because 0, 0 isn't really a valid position. It should be 1, 1, right? Um, so we can use that as a means to say, actually, don't do anything special in this case. So let's maybe make us a little bool here, and we'll call it move cursor, right? And usually it is actually we can make that. God, how did this work again? Origin x equals 0, and it has to both be 0 for this to be a thing. Origin y equals 0. I think that's literally how you just spell this out. This now should evaluate whether those two are 0 and then evaluate to true. If one of those is not 0, then move cursor becomes false, right? And then we can literally say it right here. If move cursor, uh, move cursor, right? Only then do the set cursor position. Oh yeah. If statements need to be enclosed in normal brackets, I forget that. Sure, formatted a bit. Same here. So cursor position. Is this right? That doesn't look right. Sorry, the formatting was a bit off there. That's it. If move cursor, then do it, right?
Can we hear your messages?
Hmm?
Can we hear your messages?
Yeah? Yeah, I can, yeah. I think so. Can literally just copy this statement and just overwrite that exactly as is. And usually return to origin is set to true, which means we actually may need to make sure that we only do this excuse me, when we are moving cursors around. Right, otherwise there should be no return to the origin. Okay, that's one part that's now gonna make it a little bit easier. Now I need to draw a simple box. Right, these origins need to move. comma 5, width height. Yeah. Okay. Cool. That one hasn't been refactored yet, so okay, fine. We'll work on the menus later. One thing at a time. Now comes the thing where we make our string builder here. So we make a string builder. Print text is a new string builder with no content for now, and then right becomes print text dot append. Bless you.
Yeah, sorry.
That's fine. Nothing to apologize for. Right. Wait no. I do also need to add new lines in this because this whole set cursor position thing is going to really break. Because realistically, actually, I don't know how it's going to behave. That's a good question. But I imagine that if we if we prepare a string like that, we might actually need to loop through the content of the string builder and construct it that way. I don't know rightly. The original test case should work though. Except for, yeah, no, it doesn't. Every time when we do this, wait. Else, if we're not moving cursors, right, we're actually doing print text append line. Hmm. Yeah. I think this is exactly all we need. Every time we check on that, we say instead of set cursor position, in that case, we just append the line and build our string that way, as we were initially doing. Same here. Done. And yeah, I think we do the same here. Let's test this. Let's test this. It's gonna probably horribly break, but that's the fun. That's the fun in it. Refactoring and breaking everything. No, that's only text boxes. Yeah, we it's only printed the text boxes. Okay, we need to go and step through this, I think, and actually understand what's happening because I broke shit badly. Let's clear up our output a bit, basically meaning we're not going to print as much. We're not doing any of this at the moment. We're literally just wanting to fix the simple menu, as the simple box, as it were, right? All this stuff, no tar. So all I want you to do is write hello world and then draw me two simple boxes, okay? You know, it's very obvious why this doesn't work because I never print this content. There's nothing to step through. This is me being slightly too enthusiastic Right. For now, I'll just try print text to string. Wait, that's a function that you need to call, and we'll try that. Okay, I see one box, and no, I see two boxes, but the one box is flattened out into a single line, and the other box is working right. Which is which? It did actually do the thing, but I think this is where I broke my positioning. If we go and disable this line, I think the simplest case works. No, that's actually the case that doesn't work. So, what? That's a logic error. That's a logic error I made. Hmm. Hmm. I'm trying to think if I should maybe just simplify this function first, get the simplest case working, and then expand out from there. Because at the moment, from what I'm understanding, we should be reading move cursor as false. Okay, which means that our text should get a line appended. Is this actually true? This is just the... No, this is just the initial positioning. This doesn't matter. This doesn't need to exist. Right. Then we go through the height of the entire thing. Then we go add text, the box character, for the amount of width. If we don't, then you should do a append line. Appends the default line terminator to the end of the current string builder object. Right, which at this point should be essentially a row of our box characters, and it should be a \n or whatever getting appended there. Can be platform specific. Right. Normal appends, yeah. Unless this boolean is going wrong. But this is how I would interpret how you would make that such an if statement. But let's just go and set a breakpoint here. And let's just step through it. Right, let's get the variables up and have a look at what's happening as we step through this. So we'll make a new string builder and we set this boolean. That's what I'm interested in. Move cursor is true. Oh god, no, I need to negate that. That's what I need to do. I need to negate that. Oh god, so is it literally just not equal 0? Or Is that literally all I need to ask here for both cases? I think. Are we still launched? Yeah, we're still launched. Let's kill that. Let's just run it again. Because I think that was literally the fix. Yeah, that's okay. So that's that fixed. Okay, good, good, good. You're just warning because I'm not using two things, but that's because we've just commented them out at the moment. That's fine. I don't really care currently. That's just what it is. Right. Then let's test what this guy does for us when we actually say, hey, set me an origin of 5, 5 somewhere up in the top left corner, okay? No, no, that did not work. It printed it, but in a flat structure. Right. So if we look at this, what I mean with the flat structure, this is literally the first line up to here. This here is the second line. This is the third line, fourth line, and our fifth line. And we are not terminating right. That percent sign indicates that I should probably do another line terminator there. Okay, 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 okay. So you that's actually another question. How do string builders in this case behave? Because we are saying that we're moving cursor, right? And I probably should confirm that that actually sets to false. I'm just being really weary here of me just messing up the simplest logic. And so if we now go and step over these two steps, then I should see in variables, locals, where's my move cursor as false? Well, that's patently false. Because, excuse me, because you're behaving like no origin was passed in. Oh, right, yeah, no, we're on the first run through. Yeah, this was me setting a bad breakpoint, really. Okay, what I need to do is just break here on the second call of this. Because in the first run we're actually not setting the origin, which is fair. And then you've compressed those down to like 3 lines. Fair, 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 fair. Let's step into it and look at the variable output. Move cursor is true. Okay. Return to origin is also true. So origin gets now set from our current console cursor position. We make our box. I could have just stepped over that to be fair, but and then console set cursor position to those origins. Can I actually, then we can see what's been put in here, but I think my problem, I don't know right now, is what the actual cursor position is. Can we somehow retrieve that? Like, I think if I watch for a certain expression, I think I can literally just say console get position even as an expression. No? Oh, it's not get position. get cursor position. And that should, okay. Why? Because that's definitely wrong. Return box origin X and return box origin Y are patently set here to 5 each, right? And yet, when I ask the cursor or the console where your cursor is, then you're saying 0, 0. After I've just very specifically said, please set it to there. Is this because we're not actually in our output? No, where's is it in the terminal? Where is this actually output? Ah, it'll be in the debug console. Is you know what? Well, I'm going to do print debugging. Basically, what that means, instead of stepping through code, we can basically say, hey, just print me out a couple of statements or states of our current, application state. You can grab the certain variables and just print them out. And what I'm going to do here, actually, we'll do a console write line. And yes, it's going to break output, but I don't actually care really. I'm interested in the variables or the values of those. We're going to say I want to print out expected position. And then we'll do like this. In brackets, get return box origin X. Let's just copy that quickly for convenience, and this is origin Y. And then please print me another line where I go and say current position. And then I'll just do a console get cursor position. I don't know if I can break out the actual variables from that. But I was hoping to. X is left. Perfect. That's literally all I'm needing here. Ah, for goodness sakes. That was wrong, Sebastian. That's not what you want. You want to change this variable here. Excuse me. And this is top. Okay, format it if you want. Care. I not. I can English. Sorry. Brain doing things. I've been up since 5:30 in the morning. Right. What? No, 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 no. Both of those are wrong. That is, we should be at origin 5.5. Let me make sure. Yes, width, height, origin, origin. That's literally what we're doing here, right? This is just how we're going back to our original position at the very end, right? So that in the problem. That's then we're making the box. I don't think. No, that's still the same order. Although it's not right anymore. I think we want to go and change these as well to make it compliant with our other API. Excuse me. like this, which means the chord order is also slightly different. And I'd rather refactor this now while we're still building these basic blocks. And then you can set them in any order. I don't care, really. Okay, which means I need to now move these guys. To right after here, essentially. And then that is basically exactly the same as this call with those extensions. Yes. But you should literally be getting the values 5, 5 back from that when I say expected position. Oh yeah, I did this wrong. I did this exactly the wrong way around. The current position is meant to be in here, and the expected position is meant to be here. So that was a whoopsie doopsie on my part. Right, but that's the Y positioning. Sure, fix it. Okay. Save. Let's rebuild. Damn it. Even that value is wrong. Well, for the first one it's right, but for the second one it's wrong. Why are you... Oh my god. Okay, so... I'm getting some output up here. Right, it's saying expected position is 5, 5, which it actually started at the right thing. But that's me interfering with console write line while we're actually doing things. So that this is again on me a little bit. But I'm also noticing, and this is where it's getting interesting. I don't actually know. We would need to test this. Wait, okay. Get rid of this. Right. Print text append. Right, we're setting the cursor position to where we want to be in that case. And we go through, we, in our string builder, attach just a bunch of characters. So I think we need to do print text append line in any case. Like, I think that's sort of the first thing that needs to happen. Not just in that one case. So that's one thing, right? Which carries through here. No, sorry, not there. Here. Always append those lines, okay? Those empty lines, I want to say. Line breaks, whatever. Am I not seeing any chat? Oh, nice. 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 Welcome in. How are you doing? My username is gone.
That's why I asked you if you're doing your messages.
No, apparently not. Apparently my bot didn't see any of that. 2 seconds. Let me go and restart Firebot for a second here. Yes. Close it. Kill it. Kill it with fire. Firebot. Wagwan, do it. Yes, please connect. Okay, I heard that. Now I'm making sure I'm not missing anything else. But yes, yes. Nice, indeed. How are you doing today? And then we'll just do a console right. Yeah, I think I need to rethink how we do this. But let's just test this, but I feel like, no, this is not the answer. Oh, it was somewhat. It was somewhat, but not quite, because you just didn't change the cursor position when you printed that. But I think that is actually easily done. Let me walk through this again in my mind, what we're actually doing here. So we're making this. I think we're actually going to do this whole cursor moving thing right here at the end before we write. Like literally. Right, if we're meant to move the cursor, then please do so. And then write the content out. I don't know if we need these. Like, I feel like we're gonna end up having to loop through the string, build our content, and actually break it up that way. Right. I mean, this part worked, but then here, if move cursor, we're not doing that. Get rid. And then we're looking basically if we're meant to return to our original cursor position, and if so, then please set it as such. Make another extra new line to sort of close that all off, and then we're checking if we're moving the cursor. If so, we go there. Actually, this needs to live further up. Because I'm returning to origin before we've actually done anything. I don't think we need this actually, right? Which means we're actually just moving these 4 lines well up here. Right. Oh. So if move cursor position, write out the content, and check if we're meant to return to the origin, and if so, do so. Otherwise, we're done. Let me go and test my Twitch chat here because I am not confident. Oh no, I see things. Okay, okay, okay. All is good then. It's tried, but yeah, this is exactly what I expected. It's printed the first line correctly, and then it did a line break, but that line break ended up being right at the beginning of that line, and so that is sort of not what we're needing, right? So there's either a normal console right if we're not moving. No, that's always happening, but that I need to change. Okay, okay. I think I understand roughly how I'm gonna structure this. Um, if we're not moving cursor, just do a simple console right with our string builder object. But otherwise, we, yes, set the cursor position initially, but now we need to step through our string builder. There's just no other way of me finding the individual line breaks, as it were. Yeah, I don't know. Even that wouldn't work, I think. Although we could probably search for line breaks and then do something. But that sounds even more terrible. Yeah, it's a for each, but what are we looking for? Yeah, statement for each. The collection is the actual, what's it called, print text. Um, can't do that. Can't iterate through it like that. Then it'll be just a for loop. And the length being essentially, nope, it'll be coming from print text, and then we'll have a look. Print, nope, print text capacity. Is that length? I think is more what I would need. It seems silly to do a string builder to then break it apart again. If I'm being honest, that seems absolutely silly. It's okay for just simple printing, but the minute we want to go print it in specific positions, I would have been better off to just take the whole thing and print it out as we did before. Mm, yeah, I don't know right now, because that really puts me in a position here with this where I've made all the work to make the string builder to put this together in the nice structure, and now we're breaking that structure apart again to find each line break. I think it would have been easier to just keep it as simple print statements. Well, console write line or console write, but easier to say print statements because that's what they do. They print what something. Um, I guess we could maybe ask the question in a string builder. Find line breaks. That's a append line. It's not. Don't need to append a new line. I need to find some. Uh, what if we actually just say it here? I need set cursor position somehow involved in this. Okay, what are we doing here? At text at. So you're making your own helper function string builder. Wow, what the heck? So you make a sorted dictionary of an integer and a string builder. Get string from dictionaries. So you make a new string builder, you run through each entry of the dictionary. If the key is not null, append the line, take the value and turn it into a string, null the key. And then return that entire string. It's this that's really the heart of this. This will emulate right into a console where you can see the row column, and it's not about having dictionary and use to store all data, and eventually when we need the string, iterate over it and build our final representation. Int row column string text. So where's the actual? I'm looking for the actual positioning. What are you doing here? There's many columns as left padding and then the text. So at 140, why would that be here? So at line 1 possibly, and then 40th character over that would make sense. So XX is on line 2. 0, 0th line actually is where second is, okay. And it's 10 pixels over. Right, but how? I think you're literally just padding it out. Padding it out with what? With padding and text, append the older one at the end with. Hmm. No, text files don't really have a concept. Yeah, I know that. Hmm. That's a good point actually. Like someone will have solved this for ASCII art as well because it's a very similar concept. Um, let's just have a look through here. Um, so you're just printing it out as one big, yeah, as one big array or something. As one big row. And you do that for the entire, yeah. This is essentially literally running through the entire height of it, and then for each width you print the pixel or the value that you think should be represented by that. But you're not really doing any positioning. This is literally just a full screen sort of thing. So not really quite what we're needing. Um, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Already. Um, I mean, I mean, we could use this solution. Where's this dump function coming from? I don't quite understand this. Interlink pattern run, yeah. How old is this answer? Like, just 10 years ago. My God. Okay. I'm gonna have to think about this. I mean, I don't know. We'll have a look through maybe some more searches and see what we can glean and somehow solve this. Anyways, guys, if you like this sort of content and want to see more of it, give me a like, a follow, and subscribe. I will be back in 3 to 5, and then we shall continue our little adventures. With that, I shan't be long. And with that, I am back. So I've been thinking about this, and why couldn't I just essentially print each character out from the string builder object? Right, this is our maybe. this is not quite right because we want actually the entire string. So print text to string length. Oh, we need the entire length of that string. I think that's what we're needing, right? Oh, of course. Make this a function call. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then first we're going to check if I
But you know,
get into a string and look for a certain index, I should get a character back, right? Print text dot to string at I. No. Can we do at element at? No. Why not? Returns the element at a specified index in a character sequence. Oh, right. Okay, so it's this element at I. Character dot this control would be one. It's not a white space. Oh, I was hoping to find a line break, but it's a control character in that case. Because that's what a line break is, it's a control. Um, all right, not character, but the actual index element. Oh, yeah, copy that entire thing again, because that is what we're actually checking. No? Hmm. That's a boolean that comes back, right? Character is control. But no, apparently you want it passed in though. Like this. But you're saying that yeah, this is an invalid comparison. I get that. Is this a valid character? Yeah. So basically, if it's a line break, God, console. There's a thing per platform, so I don't need to actually worry about it. What's it called? Uh, mm, that's easy enough to find. God, always with a flashbang on Stack Overflow. My God. Oh. Uh. Get line terminator. Terminator. Right. No, not in a text file. That's actually not what I'm caring about. We're caring about.
but you know.
It comes from here, I'm sure. It's a string. That's not what I'm looking for. It's specific for each platform. You can per platform. Something like that. How does this C++? But this Endrel, this exists in C Sharp. I know it. Yeah, it's CRLF in Windows. But is it? Oh, is it just environment.newline? Can be used to retrieve the line ending string defined for the current environment. This is what we want because in that way we can make sure that the application runs on Windows and Linux both. If that is equal to, are you not liking that comparison either? So a new line is a string, whereas you're a character coming back. I suppose it's a character array that you're needing to. God, no. Well then, to string, we'll just turn that character into a string and make a comparison that way. Oh wait, I can't do that because I need to do a function call into this. Right? What I'm going to do then is we're going to set the cursor position plus I, and then we'll console write the text. Like literally just each element that we are getting through. And then each iteration it goes and evaluates, hey, are we in a new line? If so, go to the new line. Like make a new line basically, like move the cursor, is what I'm getting at. Right. It's actually a simpler solution than I had imagined it, if it works. That's a big question. And a bold assumption. While it's compiling, I'm going to make a quick coffee. I'll be back in a minute or so. Uh, and with that, I am back. But you know, coffee was needed. That is what it is. Did I miss anything? No, I did not. Good. I did. I don't see the box being printed, by the way, so that's not good. It's not. It's not. It's not promising. Did I break anything in the call here? No, no. We're still doing the call the same way. And um, I suppose we would need to actually step through this for a second, right? Can I? let's do myself a little favor here. I'm going to stick this into a temp variable here of type string. We'll call it temp even, and we'll just say, hey, write temp alt. But that way I can actually look at this variable here, and we can actually say, hey, make the breakpoint inside here. So only when we're actually needing to go through this part of the function where we move the cursor. So we're not getting interrupted on the first call, and we can just take that breakpoint away and save and try and run it. See what happens. That was very neat. Okay, so I probably want my variables open, have my locals, see what's happening, that sort of thing. And step over that. Of course, at the moment we're not getting proper cursor positions back here either, because this isn't really a terminal you can work with. I think this is what's happening here. But I'm more interested in stepping through this part here, okay? And we're gonna say here was coming back from print text to string. Right, okay. Quite simply, I'm skipping the actual printing. We're just checking for new lines, and then if there's no new line, it just doesn't do anything. So whoopsie doopsie. I believe actually I was being silly, and we just need to do this. We only need to do the setting of the cursor position when we actually find a new line. Else we just keep printing, 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 printing. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. At least in my mind, it seems to make some sort of perverted sense. No. No, that was not it. What did you do? The reason I'm asking because I'm seeing this in between here, so you've definitely jumped all over the place, but you... That is also not right. None of this is right. None of this is right. But I can't even see a pattern to it at the moment. We've got to imagine that this first part just works. Okay? Because we're getting a box printed if we're not doing anything fancy with the cursor. And it knows about new lines because it's printing those. Okay. Then we're saying if we're moving a cursor, we set an original cursor position. Yeah, we need the entire string's length up to and include. I think up to and including the end. And then print text that specific array element. Right, we're basically here checking if that element is a new line, which we should actually see happening every so often, but then it sets a cursor position of origin X and origin Y plus Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I need to figure out how many lines we have first. Yeah. What's happening here is we're counting through a whole bunch of characters, right? So this I isn't just increasing by each line, but it's actually increasing by each character, which is why we're ending up sort of all over the place. Then I think I need to actually keep maybe just an index of our current line, right? That'd be easier to do. So if I just say here current line is obviously 0 at the moment, right? And I think I'm going to say right here current line plus plus. No. So let's. Yeah, no. And here we're saying current line plus plus, right? Should do that first, and then instead of increasing by I, we're increasing by current line. I think that's all there's to it, actually. Keep a track of every line break, increase the counter for that, and something broke terribly. What did I break? What did I break? Argument out of range exception. So this is coming from simple box line 57, if I see this right. And I think that may have been actually just me being too greedy there. Because it ran before. Almost. Like it's positioned again right. It's made the lines correct, but somehow it's not moving in the right correct X position. Oh god, I think I need to throw away line breaks. Like not print them. Right, so let's clean this up. We don't need this temp anymore. It's really not necessary. I can just dump that in there. But I think we need to make it so that every other character is getting printed but new lines. And it just does the positioning in that case. Because otherwise it's still going to end up going back to that first column. I think that's what we're seeing here. I think that's it. Except for it's not enough, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's enough lines as well. Woohoo! Fix it. Fix it. And now it's a single function, right? That I like that a bit more as well when we're not maintaining two different functions for this sort of thing. And we can basically say, hey, just print it right where we already are in our normal print order, if you will, or we're going to a specific origin and set it there. And then just to confirm that this is actually correctly working, let's change that origin to something else and just test again. So obviously you should expect the box further down now. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's the right index, but it's actually aligned too high. And I think it's too far right as well, left as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, that's right. It's 10 padded over. This could just be my terminal being weird because of the rounding corners, whatever. But it's doing it. That's what I'm getting at. Oh wait, I think. No, I think actually when we set our cursor position the first time, I think I need to set this to actually 1. Because line 1 is essentially the first line, not line 0. But that still doesn't change this one. Why not actually do this plus current line, set this to 1. And then we don't need to do this. Don't need to specifically set it here. We're just increasing that counter. Right, skip over the print and go into the next iteration, which then should print the first character. Let me go and get rid of this breakpoint, don't need it anymore at the moment.
That should now.
No, enough. It did not. I broke that. Oh wow. Oh wow, I broke that badly. It looks like we do need to do that print, that setting of the cursor position here. And then current line gets increased, okay. Yeah, actually, because we're not running through that set current cursor again, that only happens again in the loop. So, yeah, this is now more correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th. Right, looks about right. This is exact. This is what I would be expecting, and this is our simple one that has no origin set. Literally just printing off the next line. Okay, okay. I think what we need to do here, because I haven't been really good with that, we need to go and make a repository and save this stuff somewhere. I think that'd be handy. Would be useful. Would be, you know, something we should do. Let's make a new repo, and that's going to go right into our org, and we'll call this the Novice Toolbox. A simple CLI tool box to help with layouts and pretty printing, we call it. Oh, want to make a smile there. We don't need a template for that. Initialize it, please, with. You still don't have Node.NET, no C#. It's not VS Code either. Right, okay, well, we're gonna have our own git ignores. It's fine. I will make my own. Fuck off. It's unlicensed as usual. And create the repo. Oh god. Can I remember any others? Git init. Git origin add. I need help. Oh, No, remote add origin. I think that's how you do that. I think git status. Yeah, let me make sure we're not adding too much here because we're gonna need a git ignore. Git ignore. And basically say anything that is in a subdirectory called bin, anything in a subdirectory called obj. Save that. You're still seeing too many artifacts there. I don't like it. This could be actually that we need to do star star for any subdirectories and following. No. Is it this? Do we need to actually specify the root path, as it were? Like, this can't be this difficult, Sebastian. Or do I need to actually commit that git ignore first? I keep forgetting how that order of operation works, but let me. Excuse you. Oh yeah, now it's only 11 changes. Now that looks much better. Right? Now it's actually only source files from what I'm seeing here. Project files and source files. Okay. This is initial commit after one stream without CVS version VCS version control system. Right? We have simple boxes and much refactoring to do. That was silly but sure. Publish the branch, I guess. I'm just pushing that out into main for now, and then I will go and actually do branching as needed. Oh, for the love of right. Something went wrong. Git log. Did it? Also, where's my SSH agent? Excuse you. Git pull. Right. Origin main. Actually, well, yeah. Git branch. That's what we want. Set upstream to equals origin slash main slash main, not dot. Right. That could have been a me not doing the auto operations right. Oh, God. Git. My God. Config. We'll do that as a global config though. Pull Hmm. Do we want rebase or fast forward only? Pull dot rebase true. Let's see what happens. Maybe I should actually look up what that means. Fast forward versus what was it called? Rebase. Rebase and fast forward are both methods to maintain a clean linear git history, but they work differently. Rebase moves entire branches onto a new base, rewriting history, while fast forward moves the branch pointer forward when no history has diverged. It's ideal for updating feature branches with main, whereas fast forward is best for incorporating short-lived branches directly. Okay. So I should be fast forwarding for like pull requests, like feature requests and that, whereas rebasing for big stuff. Could be wrong, but let's try this anyways. My goodness, this is actually becoming annoying with the SSH agent, but it's fine. We good? Let's confirm we have. Yes, we have files. We's good. Okay, finally. Should have done this a long time ago. And then I think I want to quickly document some of this. Although, no, this code is documenting itself for all intents and purposes. But let's do, you know, nice descriptions anyways, like thusly, and say, hey, draws a simple bounding box with no content. I was getting annoying. Width in characters of the box. That's the height. Height in lines. In lines of the box from the top. And this is actually width in characters. No, that's when we're talking about origin. Yeah, I guess X origin of the box from the top, and this is the Y origin from the left of the box from the left, so that's how we're counting. In cars. Oh. So we know like how it's counted. It's not pixels, it's characters. Basically, that's what I'm getting at. Which character to use for drawing. And we can say default equals this, I think. Yeah, and return to origin is return cursor to original position if different origins were defined. And also basically say here, if 0, no positioning occurs. I think that makes sense, right? Because then if I went into program C5 and looked on here, we get a bit more information about what we're doing here. This is cool. Like if I even go into one of these variables and say it, comma here, box character, which character to use for drawing. Like we're getting actual nice documentation back from our own code on how to use these things. Right, what is the timing? Okay. A little unfortunate, but okay. I guess I'm wondering here. Like, give me a minute here. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. You, I'll.
It's just you there.
Yeah, but there you go again. Do apologize, but yes, let's send the dog out and see if he needs his business again. Anyways, the drawing of the text is essentially the same as this, except for needing to deal with the text stuff. But it almost begs the question for me if I should just refactor. I mean, okay, we're doing extra things. Okay, I think I'm actually gonna refactor this the same way we did the other one. As in, we're gonna get rid of the two functions. We're gonna make it so that it will only take in the origins. So like this call would become different already. Let me actually put this up properly. Something like this, and it goes there, because then that is where the origin would be. Let's go and align those two boxes the same again as previously, so we can see the two things happening. Just realizing I might want to change the order of operations slightly again. Although no, that's fine. But you can do something here where you can say character as a box character colon. Like I think you can just do it like that, so it doesn't matter whether it's positional or not. Okay, yeah, I can live with that. Let's actually do this as testing. And we'll give you this as our assign, and you will use the default, and we will give you ampersands, why not? Right. Right. Okay. Now we're going to obviously get red lines saying, hey, you can't do things like that the way you're trying to do them, which is fine, because we're going to, as I say, remake some of this. So you were just going to throw you away. Go away. Right, we will only have one function in which we say, hey, we will do oh god, that's not what I wanted. That's fine. Text is fine, but the height comes first, then any padding that we have, and then origin X and origin Y. Although you're not happy with this. Oh yes, because we need to set these to be equal to 0 by default. basically saying when we're not doing any positioning, then this is fine. Clean that up a bit. But theoretically, this would already run. Like, this would at least compile. What's your problem? Who is your... Unable to get relative path between Novice Toolbox, App Program CS, and GitLens. Why is GitLens complaining about... Go away. And I guess the first thing we need to do is, instead of console write, make the whole string builder thing happen. So that's sort of straightforward, right? We'll literally just make this up here. So this is a string builder with the print text we are creating being a new string builder with no content thus far. Doing the same thing there. We define our width by the text length plus any padding and all this. This was fine. We take our height, we add the padding that we want, and we define where the center line is. All that is actually still pretty much the same. This is something we need to obviously now adapt to be more compliant with what we were doing before with the other box as well. So the text box now needs to be constructed in that way too, where we take actually these guys in, and then after the height we say, hey, take the origins and then the character and then the string. Right, then, right, I remember we made a bool, right? Let's go and just do exactly that too. And it's move cursor yes no basically, and move cursor is equal to origin x not being equal to 0 and origin y not being equal to 0. Did I do that right? Because I remember I was struggling with that. No, that's exactly it. Right. Toss a coin to your Witcher. Is this a tech version of it? Hmm. And then basically we wrap this one more time. Nope. How do you do the you can do wrapping of things, I know that. Surround with another if statement, and if move cursor, right, then we get the origin, we make sure we know where we originally came from. Same here. If move cursor, then set the cursor to that position, and this now becomes not a console write but a print text append, and we'll just print text append line here. Yeah, print text dot append line. Right, we can then break it out later on again. This is now where we need to really be sure here. This is print append. This is a new line. If we're on the center line, we want to print text dot append our box character, then enough spaces for padding. So this is also a normal print text append. Then we write our actual text. Same here again, add more padding. No, this is actually fine. This was only a problem in the menu thing. Sorry, no. I'm getting carried away here for a second. And then print text append line. Right, this is how we're constructing at the moment everything. Print the box character there, you know, print more empty spaces for padding. This is basically the lines that have only the two border characters and are empty in the middle. And then here we append another empty line, basically. Whoops. Print text dot append line. And then if return to origin would be surrounded by saying, hey, if we're actually doing any cursor movement, right? If move cursor, and this is right now where we then also need to see how we properly print this. I'm thinking actually I'm going to put this function the actual printing, I'm going to put that into its own little private function, I think. Although no real need actually at the moment. But I think this can literally be copied as is almost. Because at this point, we don't actually care whether there's a center line that has any special handling. Like literally, I think this is essentially the same code block, which is why I'm feeling I can factor this out into another function. Something that does the actual printing by just running through this again and again. There's our two text boxes that we want. One should appear right under our simple box, and the other one should appear right next to our box floating up in the middle sort of thing. Do it. And then I think I'm going to go and take a quick break. Nature calls as well. Okay, so we have a text box down there and we have another text box up there. But somehow it broke the alignment of the two boxes together. But it did do the thing. It did do exactly what we were expecting it to do. There's an append line somewhere in here that I don't need, I think. right at the end. I think we're breaking a line too many. Possibly. But anyways, guys, if you like this sort of content and you want to see more of it, give me a like, a follow, a subscribe. This has been actually, I'm liking this. We're making slight but gradual improvements to this and make it a bit more maintainable in the long term and all that. Anyways, guys, I will be back in 3 to 5, and then we shall continue our coding adventures. With that, I shan't be long. And with that, I am back. So, all right, okay. Not that I actually cared, but sure. So, where are we going wrong here? Because it prints that box, and then it's not like there's a line in between. It's literally just done a print line, like a empty line somewhere that we didn't need, I feel. And this will be the case for both of those. So I need to find that point. Actually, I know exactly which one it is. I think it's this one here. Uh, or is the positioning itself wrong in the text box? Let's check in there maybe first. Right, but if you move cursor, you're getting the origin position from the cursor at that point. Wait, we do the return to origin here, right? If return to origin and move cursor, and return to origin is usually true, right? Yeah. And then the simple text box goes and saves the original position. It gets all this. There's a new box with height, origin XY, box character, and the text. Right. If we're moving cursor, which we should be in case origin X and origin Y both are not 0, which they are not, then you should be moving it there. Like there's nothing we need to do differently here. But somewhere we're adding one line too many, I feel like, although we're not even. I'm wondering if me setting current line to 1 is the problem here. A matter of fact, what am I doing now? This we shouldn't do. I don't think we're needing to do this. No, we're just getting the cursor position and we yeah. What am I doing here? We're not doing any of this right here. We're literally just making text. And it's only down here we're doing any cursor movement. I think that's actually exactly what I did wrong here. That would make sense. And something went wrong. Or did it? Wait, which? Let's have a look here. Our very first box is written in stars, which is down there. Our second box is written in percent signs, which you did the same thing again there. You did the same thing again. So actually make our lives a bit easier. We know exactly which character, which box is which. But there's definitely something going wrong with the positioning there. They're all just console rights. No. Console right is just printing the text as it were, and here is where we're doing the current line stuff. I don't quite understand. Because you're behaving almost like you're. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, are we inheriting properties from another? No. Do we need to tear down these instances? As in, like, emptying out some variables? There's nothing global here, though. There's no global variables that simple text box remembers. Let me try and do a thing here for a second. I'm just curious, okay? If I made a simple draw 1 and 2, same for the text draws. So 1, 2, 1, 2. I have a feeling it's something to do with that instantiating and then not tearing it down. No. Also number 3 ain't printed right. That's definitely also not working right. Oh yeah, because watch. That's a me. Yeah, that makes more sense. And then we see box 1. We see box 2 there, up there, but it's disappearing because box 4 somehow forced it further up. Hmm. And yet, if I was to just, for shits and giggles, disable these two, or even just this one. Oh, no, I know what's happening. I know what's happening. As we're doing this print, we're pushing that line further up. So realistically, the best thing to probably do is do the first simple calls first and then do the position calls afterwards. Just looking at the order of operations there, I think that's exactly what's happening. And there we go. We have box 1 living down here. We have box 3 living down here. They were, not positioned. And here's box 2. And here's box 4. So that makes sense now. Right. I would also like to see if we can. Like a clear. I want to do like a clear before we do any. Is that a thing? Console dot clear partway. Okay, that's literally just what we're doing here. And then we can see the behavior on. Yeah, on a clear screen, so to speak, without all the extra gumph. I think we're going to do a bunch of right lines to sort of make some extra empty space at the bottom here. Bit silly, but it's fine. This is just for debugging, really. For int I equals 0, int I is smaller than, say, 20, I plus plus console right line. Like literally just empty lines. Oh. And yeah, that's sort of what I had in mind. You know, have it a bit clearer, and we can see the box is positioned. Okay. I have actually got an idea. Helps us counting, I think. Something like that. Do an I print out colon like this. Then we can at least see how many lines it took to actually print it out and see if that was correct or not. I at least hope that's how it's going to work. And we're definitely wrong positioned. Wow, we're off by 2. Hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're positioned right on the X, and it's just the Y that we're 1 off, actually. Because it's yeah. Okay. And they're both doing the same thing. Is it because of this? Is it literally just this? Current line being 1 instead of 0? They should now both start on line 6. And they do. Okay. And you still printed the right amount of lines, didn't break anything I can see. Okay. Let's test something else, because we can also have padding. So this is, yeah, here. So if we now set 0 padding, then these should be much smaller boxes. Well, not much smaller, but they should at least be literally squished into the characters. There should be no space around them. Yes. 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 Very much so. I like. And then this way we can confirm, you know, that we're still printing the right boxes. Okay. Well, let's go and, of course, git checkout, make a branch, feature, what was this? That was the text box. Right, I think that's fair. Uh, yeah, Git checkout main. Git stash. Git checkout. Feed text box. Git stash pop. And then we can hopefully. Why are you insisting that we're on main? We should not be. I've literally just. Yeah. Thank you. Switched you over. Thank you. I was gonna say. Which, by the way, before we do this commit, I want to actually test something. Because I don't believe I need another instantiation of that. I honestly didn't think I needed to. Because it's just a thing doing the drawing for us and we pass in new information. Okay? So, from what I understand, this should still result in the same behavior as what we did before have. Do this. Looks correct to me. There's no weirdness going on with pushed lines, none of that. Okay, cool. Less complexity, more simplicity. Keep it simple, stupid. Okay, so added text box feature, both positioned and unpositioned. Added documentation. We're gonna need to do that again before I commit this. Added documentation and fix the simple text box as well, didn't we? What did we fix there? That was the box alignment. Something like that. This seems fine. However, let me go and copy, paste this so it doesn't get lost. But yeah, let's go and make a bit of XML documentation for this guy. Draws a text box. Like at an optional position with a given text string. Even be a bit more specific there. The text is string to encapsulate in the box. That's the height in characters. Characters of the box. Oh, geez. Control C, thank you. Control V. This is the padding in characters on either face on either side of the box. You know, on either face. I'm sure this is the wrong expression, but it's fine. Origin of the box measured from the top in characters, lines actually. right? The origin Y is essentially the same. That is in characters, but this is in lines. Character to draw the box with. Right, and return to origin, return the cursor to original position. Yes, no, basically. That'll do us as a simple sort of explanation on how this guy works. Right? Boom. Okay, we should be committed in that. Make a new pull request for that. Um, Yes, bunch of changes, looking good. Make and yes'm. I guess it's a merge commit that we want, right? Yep. And then we can delete this branch. Good. Check out main git fetch. Actually, git pull may have been more useful, but sure. Okay. Yeah, that's the new code there now. Cool. And then we have the menu draw thing that we didn't ever quite finish yet. I mean, text box and box are done. Menu is pretty much, for now, nothing we can do with, like needing to change on that, I should say, because that part actually works. Yes, yeah. No, this is right. There was the two entries. I think I can actually sort of get this stuff back to active state. We just need to obviously refactor some of this. And let me, that was silly. Git stash, git checkout, B on your branch. It's a feature menu box, right? And then git stash pop. I think I'm gonna have to change things soon. My hands are really starting to kill me here. Might end up going into Factorio or something for a bit. Yes, no, that's correct. Yeah, thank you. Okay. This part is sort of let's just maybe separate this out for a second, so like this. First, we're basically making two variables, right up here, and they are basically just actions. They're what's called a delegate. I don't quite understand all of it, but encapsulates a method that has no parameters and does not return a value. If we had a return value, we would basically do something like this. but then we would need to make sure that the thing actually does return an int, right? But this is just variables basically holding a reference to some function, right? In this case, a parameterless function with no return. And those functions are right here, right? There's one called reload menu, one called quit menu. And the way we're doing this right here, we're saying this method actually just refers to the function called reload menu, right? And that's how we assign that. And then we can basically make a menu item saying, okay, we make a new menu item. This is our key to press. This is the string that we want to print out. And this is the method that's attached to that key. Then we're adding those menu items. And then we're saying to the menu drawer, but we still need to go and fix now to draw the menu. And then just as a test, I did down here basically this thing of, hey, can we actually grab from this menu item this function call, right? Because that's what it's, if we go and go into the menu item itself, this is actually function call. This is essentially what we're assigning to. Okay. And this is how I then can say, hey, can we get that action out there? And this is what I was testing here, and just call it generic, because we don't necessarily know which menu item has which function behind it. We frankly shouldn't care. We should just be able to say, hey, we have a menu item and it has some action associated with it. I want you to just run that. And this is how we're doing this essentially. Just that the menu box, as I say, will be fucked. Let me go and I think I want to rename this simple menu box, right? That's what it should be called, because everything else was called something like that. Thank you. And then do the draw menu box. Aha. You won't even need a height or a width because all that will be calculated. Okay. So origin. All right, so we I guess we could add the origins already here. Because we do want the function to be able to say, hey, we either just print it right underneath or we position it. Okay. Just trying to think of a good call convention right now, because I think I would like to keep it very similar to what we have there. Yeah, and there's the padding there, and then would be the positioning after the padding. Yeah, that makes sense. So here we make another in, which is origin gen x and in origin y. Those will both be having default values of 0. Right, and then the character to draw this thing with do like so. And then we're gonna make a new boolean here, which says move cursor, right, which is equal to is origin x not equal to 0, and origin y can also not be 0, right? Only then this becomes true. There's a normal origin And as a matter of fact, I can literally say right here, we only do this in case, where's the if statement there? If move cursor. Otherwise, we're not even going to care to calculate that. Then you're going through each menu item and you're looking for the name's length and check whether max length is larger or smaller than that. If max length is smaller than what we currently have looked at, then that means our current word is longer and we need to increase that max length, and we'll just say max length is now our new length, like whatever word we've added. Then we go and say width is the max length plus padding times 2, padding on both sides, plus 2 for the actual border characters. The height is menu count plus padding times 2 plus 2. Again, sort of making sure we have our padding on both sides and the 2 lines that actually make the box enclosed. And so we do want this set by default by the looks of it, because of the way I'm doing. That's actually not right. That's definitely not right. We should be going just by origin X and Y. Right. Because whether they're passed in or not, they're either going to be 0 or some other value, and we should respect that. Now that was a mistake from yesterday, because what I was looking at was actually the original position of our cursor, which may or may not always be right. Then comes, oh yeah, we need to do string builder as well. I forgot about him. That it we'll make a new string builder, and we call it print text as usual, which is a new string builder with no content for now. Then every time we do a console write, instead we do a print text append, get that character assigned. Don't do this, but instead print text dot append line. Basically make sure we know there's a new line happening there. And I think I can just copy this little construction and replace every console write that I see here with that expression. Just making sure I am doing this right and understand what I'm changing. Yes. Like last box character, and then instead append line. And this is basically if we're on the last line. No, if we're on the first or last column. And on an empty line, so to speak. Yeah, this is a padding line essentially, so not console write, but text append and append line. And I'm honestly sure that the drawing function, like this entire thing, can just be copied exactly the same way again. Yeah, once we've went through that entire thing, constructed that string as it were, we go through and say, hey, Also, we need a new boolean. I think that's at the end. Yeah, bool return to origin. We'll get back to that in a minute. So we construct the whole thing, and then we say if move cursor, right? You set ourselves up, you set the cursor position, you start printing out, looking for every new line. If it is a new line, you increase the current line counter and set the current position to that new line. Otherwise, you're writing just the element because we need to skip new line prints. We can't print them all. Otherwise, you just print the text. You know, if it's yeah, if we're not moving the cursor, just print the text as is with new lines, right where we are, like, and then this, except for origin is out of scope because I encapsulated it here. But it really would need to be enclosed anyways in if move cursor. Oh no, we're doing that. Okay, so origin needs to be just outside of this context. Fine. Actually, what am I doing here? I'm being an idiot. Origin X, we can literally just feed those values straight in because they are either zero set by ourselves or from the outside set to some other value. Idiot. Don't need that because we're setting it to our current current cursor position, not where we want to be. So I think that's it. I'm not sure, but let's build it. If it builds the chips. Okay, yeah, no, I broke something in the menu apparently. Because I don't see anything printed. Did I do this right? Let me check program CS. What did we yeah, well we're calling menu draw menu with the menu that we created. So question, did the reload was called? So that part still works. We can do this sort of generic function call, but somehow in here something is broken badly. Text console right. Console right. I need to step through this really to understand what's happening and where it's going wrong. I know you say you can remove those parentheses because of mathing operations. Oh, wait a minute. That doesn't seem right. Shouldn't it be a text box? No, it should not be because we're handling this differently. We just want a box, but we've pre-calculated the width and height. Right. And then you go through the entirety of the height of that box. If we're currently on the first line or the last line, append to our current text the box character for the amount of width, and then make a new line, right? if we're at line padding +2, not sure about this actually, because this is where we're actually going through the menu items, through each one of them, and we append a single box character, we make a little bit of padding, we then add our print name for this menu item, the long name. Then we check how much difference there is between the max length and our long name, because we need to add a bit more padding for that. So that's padding plus the difference. And then make a box character and then make a new line. Like, wait, no. I think this needs to be outside of the loop. Yes. That needs to be outside of the loop. Right. No, that's wrong. Because every line finished after a menu item should have its own new line, right? Um, but we do need to actually do it again, I think. That's what's happening here. Right there. Then we go through and say if we are basically on just a padding line, right? Then print the first character as a box character and the last character, else it's all empties.
Stop.
And then append all that again. Right. Move cursor in our case should be false, right? Which means I should expect to just see a whole bunch of text printed. I'm gonna have to step through it. I don't run it again, just in case. No. But you're calling the reload, that's working. What other parameters can I give you to just maybe make this a bit easier? So we have padding 1, origin, box character, we'll make that now number 5 because it's the 5th box that we're drawing, and the rest we're gonna just leave. Like, I don't see why that should make a difference, but okay, let's set a breakpoint. Why not right here? So there's our new string builder. Let me go and check the locals here. That would be useful to see. So if move cursor, which shouldn't be, can we make sure it's not? Yes, false, correct. Right. Then you're basically checking now the longest character or longest name we can find. So currently our max length is 11. And I think it's gonna stay that way by the looks of it. Yes. Now we're setting a width. Now, if we know that our longest character is 11, we should see 15? as the width.
Yeah. You already say.
Yeah. Correct. Oh, hey, you even caught the rat. And then the height. We have two menu items. We have padding times 2 each side, which is 2 plus the 2 border characters, so that should be 6. 2, 4, 6. 6 high. Yes. Right. And as long as we're going through, what happened there? You literally skipped over that whole. No, like literally, what? Return box height. I'll go and look at this. Why? Oh, we changed the function definition of the box drawing, so I need to change it there as well. I think that's all it is. Maybe. Could be more issues. Shift F5. Let's go and just rerun it. And there's our menu. It's not quite right yet, but it's a menu. So what happened? Why did you make an empty line there, I wonder? You made an empty line as well as one too many extra padding lines. Interesting. Interesting. This is what I was sort of fighting with yesterday. Um, I'm going through the menu items. So this append line is too many. Is one too many, and I've realized that, I think. And then that should make the empty line make that go away. Okay. But we're still adding too much padding. And here's the thing. If I take one menu item away, just for shits and giggles, yeah, if I just literally don't add it to the menu, I think that's all I need to do there. Then the menu is being drawn right. That's so weird. The minute I add more elements, it adds more padding lines at the bottom. Why? Um, shit, don't know. Is the string maybe being constructed wrong already? Is that where it maybe starts? So we go through the menu items, we append box character, padding characters, our name. I Yeah, and after the box character has been, the last box character at the end has been added, we should have a new line, really. Because we're not doing anything with positioning in this part. This is literally just string construction. But if I'm being honest, I feel like this is the part where we're already going wrong. So let's actually set a breakpoint somewhere more in here where we actually need to be. So let's say maybe this for each loop. And see the behavior with two menus. Because that's where it's breaking away from what I'm expecting, right? And I guess we hit F5 and see what happens. Right, let's look at the local variables as we're debugging this. For each menu item, right, go through print text. So at the moment it's just a row of fives because that's the character we're using for printing, right? All right, okay, yeah. This is fine. So we're seeing that empty line. We see the first character. You are going to make as much padding as you need to. Right, that's one space padding. Then you print the long name. Right. You append more padding. And then the box character. Right. And then you say append line. That seems right. Because we're now working through the next item. So if we go and look at this again, then yes, I'm now seeing the next line where we now make our next menu item. Some padding. Right, now this thing looks like thusly. Yeah, with exactly enough extra padding at the end to still align those closing borders. And then you make a new line, which to me is correct, right? Because now we go and basically check if we're moving cursor. Yeah, we're on the next line. No. No, because we're now making another padding line. Height should be 6. Right now we have written 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, so this is our 5th line. Which essentially just makes a pretty much empty line with just the borders. More spaces. Just waiting until it jumps into the pending of the box character at the end. Stop. Come on. Where are we? Still making empty spaces. There we go. Now we are printing that last border character, right? If we look at this, this looks about right. Right. Correct. Wait a minute. Yeah, append line should now be on a new line. Uh-huh. No. Each is four. No, wait, it's not. It should be five now. Yeah, I think I know exactly where I'm going wrong here. Yeah, stop, stop, stop. Because our index is one less. So I think we should just need compare the -1. Split off. Fine. Let's try that again. I called this yesterday too, that it was just an indexing error, and I'm still doing it. Still. I think I shouldn't have included that last one. No, is that not it? What? Uh, oh God. I think this is definitely to do with indexing in this case. So we'll start with H0. Um, so height is 6. We start at 0. Like, and then height -1. Patch enough. And there we go almost. Now I have the problem at the top. Oh wait, we're starting too early here. I think it's just padding +1. Yeah, I know. I'm due a break again. I'll try this one more time, and then we'll need to take a quick break, and then we'll go to debugging this. I'm literally dancing around the same fucking issue here. I can tell. Um. I feel like I need to like skip one at some point. Where's the padding lines there? Here. And maybe it's just a matter of checking. Well, we'll do that after the break, anyways, guys. If you like this sort of content and you want to see more of it, give me a like, a follow, a subscribe. I will be back in 3 to 5. and then we shall try and fix this, Mishugramis. Yes, and with that, I shan't be long. And with that, I am back. So let's figure this out, okay? Somewhere in the counting here, I'm going wrong, and it's a simple plus minus one error. That's as simple as it is, and as stupid as it is. Let's look at the result again. The result is one too many lines at the bottom. Hmm. So, wait, did you actually print? Yeah, you printed the bottom thing, but this is a line with just the box characters. And making an empty line, that's fine. And this is a line that maybe I should be more explicit in this check. But no, that would be counterproductive, I think. Could probably do something here where we say, hey, if our height is, yeah, let me see here. if h is equal to height minus 1. Enough patch. Where is it here? Just our normal height, I think, right? Relational height minus 1. Well, actually, if it's not that, do all this. That's wrong. Nope. Just trying to find the condition where this is actually happening. There is. Okay. Now I imagine this is going to break when I have only one menu item. So like, just turn this one off. No, stop. That was the wrong way to go about it there. No patch. Go right on. Damn it. Called it. And then I think we also need to maybe test a third item just because we'll call this like refresh or something. I don't know. Just not very imaginative at the moment. Refresh menu item is a new, and we'll call it IF for refresh menu, whatever. And we will need to, yeah, actually, you can hook into the same method. I don't rate me care. So reload item, and then we'll add menu item, add the refresh menu item as well, and see how this behaves. I believe this is all broken. You always end up making one too many of them. Why? Uh, yeah, this is definitely not the way to do this. There's something wrong in my logic. So let's think this through again. We come in, we give you a list of menu items, okay? I think I know what I'm going wrong. I think if we just take it one away from the count, then we should align with h being 0. And this is basically us checking if we're one line further away from the padding to start printing the menu items. Let's try that. It's something really stupid like that where the count is obviously going to be one higher than the index of an array, and it's still not right. Out of curiosity, morning, Messy Bex. How you doing? Sorry, that was terrible of me to shorten it like that. How you doing? I know you got a decent sleep. I'm glad about that. I, for one, was up at 20 past 5 because of a certain somebody. Yes, I'm talking about you, Patch. Patch, come here. Now, enough of your whining. There's no need. Stop. Yeah, he's had me up since 5:30 this morning. Well, 20 past, but it's fine. How you doing, Hen? Nice to see you. Mm, let's step through this. There's no other. Good. I'm glad to hear it. There's nothing else for it really. Let's run it up to this breakpoint and then see what variables we have. With 3 menu items. Okay, that means we should end up with 7 as a total height. 1, 2, makes it 5. 2 at the bottom makes it 7. As well, because of this indexing, yeah, right. So no, we can't do the calculation based on that. That's not going to work out for me because we do need it to end up being 7 high. Right. Variables again. Yeah, height 7 width 16 we'd already said. Yeah, that makes sense. And at this point you've already printed 2 lines. Actually, we are on line 3. We are actually currently on line 3, not 2. Because we've already done the line break here. So padding is 1 plus 1 borderline. Actually, no, it needs to be plus 2 because we need to take the padding into account. Do we? But I know I need to start counting from 1, not 0. Because our first line is 1. Otherwise, I'm confusing myself even more, so... Um, and then if H is padding plus 1. Padding is 1. Add 1 borderline. Yeah, no, this needs to be 1 extra. Right. We then make the menu items appear. Okay. And elves just draw padding lines. Okay. Let's see. That's even worse. My God. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8 lines you've drawn. Wow. You should stop once. Oh, wait. think that's where I went wrong. It's simple logic errors that make this all. It seems very easy, but like little logic changes like that can make all the difference, and that entirely broke the thing. Cool. So you're going through this for loop, you're starting with age being 1, and you're supposed to repeat that until you have reached the height of our box. Right? Can we make sure I'm calling this right? Oh god, F12 instead. Width, height, origin X, origin Y, and the character. Okay, that looks like it should work exactly like that. Stop, back here. Um, oh, grief, me and typing today. I don't think our condition can ever be hit. Let's test it out anyways. Damn it. Hmm. Such a simple logic error, I'm sure. Okay, we've got at least a menu back, but you're still doing this slightly wrong. We got the reload call at least done. I really don't know how or where I'm going wrong with this because this seems very straightforward, really. Let's unravel this from the top again, right? We make these menu items and we pass that in. We'll give you a character to draw the character the box with, and that's all I really wanted to do there, right? Because by default you have set no origins, one character and line of padding, and not boolean. Okay. We figured out if we want to move the cursor at all by saying, hey, is origin X and origin Y anything other than 0? Right, which they wouldn't be, so we're not moving cursor. We construct here essentially our width and height. And this part seems to work quite fine because we've seen this calculate the right values. We make a new box. Right, the box itself so it's the menu items plus any padding times 2 because we need the padding at the top and the bottom, plus the 2 border lines themselves. That's the full height of this box. Right. For h being 1, so start at line 1 as it were, for the full height, until we have reached return box until h is the return box height should be returning like 6 in case of 2 items. right? So we have lines 1 through 6. Oh, I think I know. I think this is what I'm doing. What I've done wrong is the actual for loop. I can't confirm. Would need to see in testing. But we're counting wrong somewhere. It's so frustrating. Well, at the very least, I'm getting my closing line again, even though we're printing too many empty lines here still. It's a simple logic mistake, I'm sure of it. That's the frustrating part. But I will figure it out, even if I just keep trying things and that does not work. That makes even sense. Right. We know those two work. Some of the height ends up being too high. That's what's confusing. So let's not break there. Let's break a bit further up. Let's say here. I know there's nothing there, but it'll still break at the next possible point there. What's going on? This is so weird. Well, not weird. It's a simple mathing issue that I'm not quite getting. Okay. Yes, our 3 menu items. And you should have calculated a width of 16 because our longest word is 12 characters, 2 bits of padding, 2 bits of border makes it 16. Height 7 because we have 3 lines of menus plus 2 that's like 7 3 plus 4 is 7, so that makes sense. And right now we have got nothing built. We have no H defined yet, but let's go through this. H is now 1. We're on line 1, and we're going to continue to do this loop until H is smaller or equal to return box.height. Which should be stopping at 7. Well, in my case, at 8 because I've done +1, but that's obviously not what we're looking for. We want to stop when we reach the height. Right, keep stepping through. So H, I don't. Where's my H? Ah, yeah, here's my counter down here. H is 1, height is 7, right. We are on H1, which means right now you should be printing me a line with just box characters. Which you are apparently doing here, right? Should have kept just jumping over that, but it's fine. So this is our first line. And you've appended a line already because our curly bracket is now on the next line, meaning this is where we're printing the next bit. Increase H, right? We're now on line 2. So nothing should happen. Nothing. What should padding +2 should be on line 3, right? In our case. So you should skip over that and just make an empty line. Yeah. So we go here, more empty spaces, and let's just keep jumping a bit more. Okay, so we're now on the next line, which should start printing our menu. Right, age should be 3 now, indeed, and padding plus 2, if I look at padding as 1, 1 plus 2 is 3. Okay, so you now make each menu item appear here for me with the appropriate padding and all that. I think there's a way to step up to a certain point, like step over, step into, step out. No. I think I just keep going. No. Then that just continues execution and... No, I actually didn't. It finished execution somewhere and I didn't get the... I didn't get the debug output that I wanted, so... But... Yeah, somehow... Let's actually make a breakpoint somewhere else where it's a bit more useful to me. I'm thinking essentially here when we're doing these empty lines, possibly. It's something really stupid. This is so annoying. The current line is actually just being used in here to count where we are. Right. And we're not even hitting that code path just yet because we're not printing in any specific origin. We're literally just doing a console write of all the text. So it's the text construction itself that is somehow failing on me. Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, I want to say we have actually done some progress today because we've refracted this whole mess. Patch enough, I'm gonna call it, because he's just too whiny today, and Ronnie's just not feeling well enough for him to take him out all the time. So I will, you know, have to do that. No, you come here. You're being no, come here. Come here. You know you're in trouble. Now come here and lie down. Go on. Not enough of that. Like my debugging brain is starting to not debug anymore. This is really frustrating, actually, that this is such a simple 1-0 mistake, essentially, like miscounting by 1 or 2. And I just can't think my way through that at the moment. But all I can do is just keep stepping through it and then try and match up numbers and things like that. Something we'll do for next time. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow will be something else entirely. Yeah, sort of stuck here at the moment. Really silly as well, I'm sure of it. Let's, however, um, let's commit some changes already up. Menu drawing is working, but too much padding at bottom. Right, so we know that much basically, but other than that, we have simplified that call as well. refactored. No, there was no refactoring here in this case. This is just the one function that we've worked on. But yeah. Cool. Commit that. Commit. Save that up there. Yeah, guys, if you've seen the error and want to let me know, hit me up down in the comments. I will, for now, I think we're going to go and read out. I think that's a good idea for now. We've done enough. No, you come here, Patch. Come here. Leave Mum alone. Lie down and stay. Hey, we're not doing this, dog. I am going to outlast you here. Anyways, guys, let me go and change screens. And I will go and try and find someone to raid out to, shall we? So, thank you very much, Brennan Hard, but I would like to, let's see, who do we have? Oh, yes, let's just jump in on Monsieur le Discount Engineer. Let's go and get a custom shoutout made, not shoutout, a custom raid, I should say, custom raid message. And before I forget, yes, so Vonnie won't be streaming today. She's just not feeling it. Don't know if she's going to be back tomorrow. Really depends on how she's feeling, right? Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been absolutely amazing. I couldn't do this without you. It's as simple as that. I will go and copy a little bit of our custom raid message. And I will hand you over to a colleague, I want to say, a discount engineer, learning to program at the moment in Godot. You come here. Come here. Lie down. Stay. I do apologize, but he's really being painful right now. You're staying there. Anyways, guys, love yous all. Couldn't do this without yous. It's as simple as that. Let me see where my raid button is. Ah, there it is. He's just about getting started. We're still on a starting screen, but I'm sure we all have enough patience. If you can wait for my breaks, we can wait for this. As I say, guys, love yous all. Couldn't do this without yous. I will be back tomorrow, and we will probably be looking at Linux from scratch. Maybe. I don't know yet. We'll see how it goes. And with that, peace out and bye.